for ananda margis, for those of you who are involved in ananda marga and doing the ananda marga meditation, ananda marga has the potential to lead the world into sadvipra samaj, and to transform all of us. But to do that, it needs to achieve its potential, yeah? So I think most of us can see that ananda marga is not achieving its potential. So what is it exactly that we're missing? So I would say the main thing that is really, really missing from ananda marga is intuitive science. So Baba was really clear that intuitive science is very important. He said several times that in ananda marga we should make our decisions about how we do things and resolve our religious conflicts, our ideas about what's right and wrong, through intuitive science. And he was talking about how radical this is and how this is the new way, and no other religion has ever, or spiritual teaching has ever done this. But he didn't really explain to us how to do it. And so people are practicing the practices, but they're not actually doing the research, the intuitive science research. So how do we actually get involved in this? The obvious thing to start with is to really pay attention to different practices, different ways of doing things, and the effect on your consciousness. Feel it, just pay attention. So, because essentially this is what intuitive science is. It's paying attention to what happens to me when something happens out in the world, or when I do a particular practice. So try your meditation and see what it does to you. Try doing it in a slightly different way and see if that changes it. Try seeing which elements of the practice are most effective to you and how they affect your consciousness. So this is the start of intuitive science. But the place where intuitive science is most well developed is actually in kinesiology. So kinesiology is a field of healing based on testing muscle strength. You totally should look it up and learn it. You test the strength of a muscle, like you can take a muscle this and hold the circle, try and hold really strong and pull, pull, pull. If you say some truth, my name is Alexander, it stays very, very strong. If you say some falsehood, and still try and hold it strong, you find that you can't hold that strength. So my name is George, my fingers break free, but they're not able to hold the strength that they have when I tell the truth. And this truth that we tell is not only the truths that I know consciously, but it's the truths of the universe. So we can actually test things that we don't know and learn things that we don't know through this. And we can very easily test a lot of the spiritual practices and how they affect us. We can also look at take that a bit further, look at the Hawkins scale of consciousness. Dr. Hawkins developed a scale of consciousness that actually puts numbers to levels of consciousness, and so you can see particular practices, what level of consciousness they tend to encourage. And if you look carefully at ananda marga, you can see that most of the practices are designed to affect us at a very, very high level, but a lot of them have been reinterpreted in a way that takes it slightly lower. So, I made my point of what I think needs to be done, but I don't think I've demonstrated why this is important and how this actually makes a difference. So, when we do those practices up to a very high level, we create a kind of vibe that is very uniting. It's something that everybody feels comfortable in. And it's a kind of transcendent joy, the infinite peace of connection to the divine. So, love is all there is kind of thing. But when we take it a little bit lower, we end up creating this love love of God, love of Baba, as something outside ourselves rather than something inside ourselves. And this creates a sense of religiousness that people find kind of disturbing sometimes. And so this devotional experience that a lot of people have, it's part of the pathway. You go through that devotional experience, but it's kind of important to be able to go beyond it and to create connection, because that connection where the divine sits inside us and is part of us, and we are part of it, we're all connected. That's where the action starts to happen. We start to get inspired to do the right things in the world that are going to make the difference. And this is what the sadvipra is. It's the level where we unite the different qualities of different aspects of ourselves. The courageous qualities, the hardworking qualities, the intelligent and qualities, and the practical qualities. And we bring them under a divine inspiration and vision. And so that's something that's really exciting and inspiring and really catching for people. And if we create environments where we are encouraging that feeling in people, then we and those people that we touch will begin to develop into that sadvipra consciousness and start to make all of those changes in the world that we look for. The whole of Prout can be created simply by creating sadvipras, because it's quite obvious when you come from into a connected consciousness level. So all we need to do is to create that kind of level of consciousness that we are looking for, and to make sure we are developing that level of consciousness. And to do that, we have to test that what we are doing is right, that what we are doing is affecting things. There's a whole lot of different religious traditions from the past, spiritual traditions from the past, that have got a bit distorted, yeah? Because they haven't been doing this. And Ananda Marga is already beginning to get distorted in the same way. And it's not going to create sadvipras if it's creating devotees. Devotees is not sadvipras. Devotees is people who are keeping themselves separate. Devotees is a good starting point, but it has to move beyond that to people who just express the mission rather than only the love of the master. So I feel like there's a lot more to say about this, and that I haven't proven my point quite enough, but I hope that it's the start of something to think about, and if you have doubts and queries, maybe talk to me and I'll talk more and we can develop these ideas.